The open gay people that hung out on the streets were basically the have-nothing-to-lose types, which I was. A lot of them had been thrown out of their families, and that crowd between Howard Johnson's and Mama's Chicken Rib was like the basic crowd of the gay community at that time in the village. You got to remember, the Stonewall Bar was just down the street from there. It was right in the center of where we all were.
That was our only block. That was our world, that block. I mean, I came out in Central Park and other places. That wasn't ours. It was borrowed. This was ours. Here's where the Stonewall was. Here's our Mecca.
Sometimes, when you watch TV, it feels like America has made great strides when it comes to acceptance of gay people. You see more openly gay and gay-friendly celebrities, more gay characters on scripted and reality shows, and you think, hey, we're doing pretty good. We're getting there. Then you hear about Asher Brown, Billy Lucas, Justin Alberg, Tyler Clementi, and Seth Walsh, 5 gay teenagers who committed suicide in a 3-week span because of anti-gay harassment. And you're reminded that in most parts of America, it still really, really sucks being gay, especially if you're young. So for all the gay people out there who feel desperate and alone and that their pain will never end, I'd like to recommend Stonewall Uprising, a documentary about the riots in Greenwich Village in 1969, where gay people fought back against the police to defend the one place in America where they could truly be themselves, and by doing so, started the gay rights revolution. As told through powerful interviews with those involved in the riots, Stonewall Uprising starts by showing how utterly horrific things were for gays before 1969, when committing homosexual acts was against the law in 49 states. Homosexuality was considered a mental illness, like being a psychopath or a pedophile, and was sometimes treated with shock therapy, lobotomies, and even castration. If you were outed, your life was basically over. Your name and address might get printed in the newspaper, you'd lose your job, your housing, or be beaten by anti-gay vigilantes. The idea of being out of the closet was not even imaginable. As one interviewee puts it, there was no out, there was just in. That is, except for in Greenwich Village in New York City, the one place in America where gay people could be themselves and find a community that understood them. In the middle of the village was Christopher Street, where, as one interviewee puts it, the quote, nothing to lose types like homeless gay street kids, drag queens, hustlers, and transgender people hung out. And in the middle of Christopher Street was the Stonewall Inn, a cruddy bar run by the mafia, as most gay bars were at the time, where the most marginalized of the gay community could take refuge, have a watered-down, overpriced drink, and, most importantly, dance with whomever they wanted. Since the mafia paid off the cops, the Stonewall was only raided during off hours. But on June 28, 1969, the cops raided the Stonewall on a busy Saturday night. And this time, the patrons resisted arrest as a growing, increasingly angry crowd began to assemble outside. The cops barricaded themselves inside the Stonewall with some of the people they were arresting, so the crowd began hurling rocks, bricks, and anything else they could find through the windows, and eventually set the place on fire. The cops escaped when reinforcements arrived, and an all-out battle broke out, with the gay crowd battling the cops and chasing them through the village. Gays and their supporters fought the cops for the next 3 nights, and when it was all over, gay people in the village recognized that something had changed, that they were out and more unified than they had ever been. So after the last night of fighting, a march was organized, the world's first gay pride parade. From that moment, dozens of gay rights organizations arose, and there was no turning back. If you're gay, feeling alone, attacked, desperate, and hopeless, Stonewall Uprising is a movie you have to see. Because before the Stonewall Riots, this was what all gay people felt because it was what society forced on them, and there were no other options. But on June 28, 1969, gay people created a new reality where they could fight back, fight for themselves, fight for their rights and their dignity, and even fight the cops if that's what it took. Those people were brave, braver than they knew they could be. And to all you gay people going through hell out there, that's what you've got to do. That's easy for me to say, having never experienced anything close to what you're going through. But one thing I do know is that the gay rights movement does not need more victims, and it doesn't need more martyrs. So please, don't let these assholes win, whether they're bullies or Republicans or religious leaders who want to increase their power using your pain and your blood. Just fight. Fight like the Stonewall rioters did. Fight like your life depends on it, because it does. And when you do, I promise you that there are millions of people like me out there who will have your back and will be rooting for you. I'm Jonathan Kim, and this is a ReThink Review.